Hi, this is Terry Glaze, and you're listening to Drag the Water. Like never before. Drag the water some more. Drag the water some more. Like never before. Drag the water some more. With Joshua.
You know what time it is. It is time to drag the water some more. I am your host, Joshua Toomey, and the guest this week is Vinnie Paul's longtime HELLYEAH drum tech, Patrick King. Patrick has a long history with Pantera, a long history with HELLYEAH, spent many years on the road teching for not only Vinnie Paul, but also was Chad Gray's personal assistant for a while in HELLYEAH, so he has been in the camp for a very long time. He has a ton of great stories about how he became a drum tech, how he became Vinnie Paul's drum tech, and how it was his first drum tech gig. How's that for your first drum teching gig? The last time tearing down the kit, going to Vinnie Paul's funeral, some great Pantera stories because Patrick grew up in the Dallas area, so he got to see Pantera many times back in the day. And talking to Patrick was one of the times that makes me realize that this podcast is going to be a little bit harder than I originally thought, because doing this podcast is about celebrating Pantera, about celebrating the members of Pantera and the people that have been around the members of Pantera. But there's a lot of tragedy with Pantera too. So these guys all have stories of where they were when they found out Dime passed, where they were when they found out Vinnie passed, going to the funeral. So there's a lot of stories like that that will be told on this podcast. I really need to shift the focus of the podcast, though, to more of the celebration side. But if people want to talk about, if the conversation goes to the tragedies of Pantera, then it'll go there. But definitely don't need to go into an interview with one of the questions about, when did you find out Vinnie passed, or how did you find out Dime passed? And this one is one that kind of hits hard because, Patrick was Vinnie's drum tech right at the end there. And, Patrick gets choked up, I get choked up, and it just shows, the power of the band, the power of the people, and just, that these are people and people were close to them, and it's a tough thing to talk about even so many years later. But Patrick was a great guest. Also check out Patrick's coffee, Peking's 333 Road Dog Blend. It is great coffee, and as you will hear from it, it's fucking delicious. So check that out. You can go check out his coffee at rockedbeverage.com. That's ROCKD beverage.com. And check out the Peking's 333 Road Dog Blend over there. That's a cool thing that they have going on. And some more cool stuff. Always great for getting some Apple Podcast reviews. Make sure to head over to your iTunes, your Apple Podcast, leave a nice 5-star rating, nice 5-star review, and I will read it on an upcoming episode. This is a 5-star review from PA_Cheddar. Pantera. Great job, Josh. I can't wait to hear what else is coming up. And what else is coming up is my interview with Patrick King. But first, let's go into the Wayback Machine over on my other show, the Talk To Me podcast. Check out a classic interview with Billy Graziadei of Biohazard talking about touring with Pantera and how much fun that was.
By far, hands down, the best and most fun tours I've ever done in my life. And we had a lot. We did a lot of tours. We did 2 U.S. tours, Europe, Japan, Australia. Spent a lot of time with those guys and had a blast. The great memories. Dime and I were pretty close. We used to go to clubs after the show and jam with local bands, here and everybody was wasted, but it was, dueling guitar leagues back and forth. Dime always won. And he loved a song we had called Tales from Hard Side, but his favorite was What Makes Us Tick.
Yeah.
And he would try to sing it. He couldn't sing that high, but he'd always try to hit the note. Come on, Billy, try it. What makes us tick? And he couldn't hit the note, but he'd always get me to do it. They were big into gambling in a fun way. When they would gamble anything, they'd flip a quarter for $500. So,
wow.
But we taught him how to play a game called CeeLo, which is like a game, a ghetto game for Brooklyn. You know, it's like craps, but it's called CeeLo.
Okay.
We taught them how to do that, and they loved that. I remember a lot of great times, man. That picture I posted, somebody just sent me that recently because I used to play jam with them every night on stage, and I've never found a decent photograph. And somebody out of the blue just sent me, it was a snap of a video. But there's always so many photographers that I still can't believe. I found one photographer, and he had his name all over it. I remember asking him for the photo. I said, "Come on, can I get a photo just down there? I just like hanging up my living room." He said, "Oh, it's available on my site for $75." Like, it's me. It's a picture of me. You're selling it pictures of me anyways.
Right.
You can't. I'm not gonna. Everybody has the right to work, and that's cool. But that was so that picture was real. It was time and I singing probably Walk.
Mm-hmm.
So it was great. I got to actually jam with Rex not too long ago, and we played Walk also.
Awesome.
Memorials.
All right, and now on to Patrick King, drum tech of Vinnie Paul.
Drag the water some more, like never before. Drag the water some more. Drag the water some more, like never before. Drag the water some more.
All right, guys, it is now time to drag the waters some more with Patrick King. And I don't want to call you former drum tech of Vinnie Paul. I want to call you drum tech of Vinnie Paul. Man, how are you doing?
All right. I'm doing good, man. And that's kind of the way I consider it, too. Hope you're doing well.
I am doing well. Thank you.
Yeah, man. It was like I kind of kept it the same way because people would ask me, like, you were Vinnie Paul's drum tech. Well, I was like, well, I still am.
Right.
Until he relinquishes my duties, it stays the same.
That's so cool, man. Before we dive into all that side of it, obviously this is a Pantera podcast, but let's talk a little bit about, how someone becomes a drum tech. Were you in bands as a kid and things like that, or how did this start out?
Yeah, it's weird. I got to start unlike most people. But I will say this. Yeah, I was in bands as a kid, but I was a guitar player in the bands I was in. Also did, like school band and stuff like that, played trumpet, things like that. My brother was a drummer or is a drummer. So I kind of came up around music. My mom's a musician. And so it was kind of came natural to get involved in this stuff. Now, for me, I did like just the blue and white collar world for a very long time before this. And just so happens I was working with a comedian early on that Vinnie was friends with, and he decided to produce the guy's show in Vegas. So I went to work in Vegas for Vince, but working for this comedian. And then over time, once we did the show there and the show came to a close, I just told Vince, I said, you guys ever need somebody on the road, let me know. And about 2 months after that, I was back in Texas, and he calls me. He and his Brydog, his right-hand man, called me up, and they're like, hey, man, if you're still interested in doing something with us, our singer Chad's looking for an assistant with HELLYEAH.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, man, I'm into it. Okay, let's give it a shot and see what happens. So I went over there and I talked to Chad, and we hit it off pretty good. And I kept looking at my watch at the time because I don't wear them anymore, but because fuck that. But I was wearing a watch, and he goes like, "You got somewhere to be?" I was like, "Yeah, I got to be at work at 5 a.m. Man, I got to be out of here." He's like, "Oh shit, this guy's like responsible." So I did my gig, and then came back, went on tour with them as Chad's assistant, and then Vinnie had Kat as his tech
right.
from the Pantera days until forever. And Kat was out with us at the beginning of HELLYEAH. Well, when Kat left with HELLYEAH, then he called me up and he was like, hey, man, we're looking, I'm trying to keep everything figured out and together, whatever, but I need a drum tech. And it was actually Brydog called me up and he was like, hey, man, Vinnie wants to talk to you. I think he wants you to talk to you about being his drum tech. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, no, he really wants you to come talk to him about this. And I was like, oh, shit. So he goes, here's Vince. Vince gets on the phone. He goes, yeah. He goes, you think you can put my kit together for me? I was like, yeah, you training me? I was like, just all cocky and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like, yeah, man, be at the house at 6. So I hung up the phone and was like, shaking.
Right.
I was like, oh shit. So, but go to the house, and they had a kit set up there, and I walked in and I looked at it, and he's like, yeah, man, I want you to get this in your head. And he goes, all right. I said, all right. And he goes, when you're done, come in here and talk to me. So I went into the kitchen, go talk to him. He has somebody else take the kit apart, put it in different places and shit. And while we're talking, he's pouring shots. So we're doing vodka shots and shit. And then he goes, all right, go put it back together. So I put it back together. He comes back in, he looks at it, and he's like, all right, well, it's not bad, but this is a little off. This needs to be closer in. These need to be here. This needs to be tight, that kind of shit. And I was like, all right. So he goes, all right, so now that you know where it's at again, get it in your head. Now you take it apart. When you're done taking it apart, let's talk some more. So back and forth, we did this shit like about 5 times. And 5 or 6 times. I go back in there, and after the last God knows how many shots were deep now, I walk back in there, I set it up. He's like, all right, man, great. You got the gig. You got 3 days. We're going to Australia. And I was like, fuck, man. I go, why'd you get me drunk? He goes, man, because if you can do this shit when you're drunk, you can do it when you're sober.
Oh, that's a great story.
I was like, fair enough. So yeah, we went to Australia and started the Soundwave. Did that one. Had some side gigs with BLS and called Sidewave. And we knocked those out. And the first day, I had his kit down on the floor, and somebody, Bright Dog, calls me on the radio. He's like, hey man, Vinny wants to talk to you. I was like, what's up? He's like, he's down there on the floor by his kit, and Vince is asking me about who tuned his kit. He's like, who tuned this fucking thing? I was like, I did. He's like, bullshit, who tuned it? I was like, dude, I fucking did. He goes, why are you fucking lying to me? I did. I was like, dude, I promise you, I fucking tuned your kit. He goes, all right, Chief, how'd you do it? I said, I recorded your kit in Texas, your rehearsal kit on my phone. It's the same dimensions. It's going to sound exactly the same. He goes, what? I said, listen. I put my phone up to his ear and played it back for him. And he listened to it. And he was like, holy shit. He just shook his head, smiling, and walked away. I was like, am I fired? I mean, what the fuck is he? But he liked it, and he kept me, and there you have it. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to I've been around music my whole life, and when it comes to tuning a drum kit, I've watched drummers do it, and it's one of the more insane. You're going from lug to lug, trying to get it all,
right.
get it all the sounds correct and things like that. So yeah. that's got to be the most daunting of all. Were you guys using any sort of triggers or anything, or was he straight?
Yeah, we used triggers, but what he would do is he would blend the sounds out.
Oh, okay.
So we'd have the front of house guy would blend out the triggers and the mics that we had inside, and it came out with sounded like Vince.
Nice.
Just kick ass and balls to the wall all the way.
Now, going into all this, I mean, so was Vinny your first kind of drum tech job?
Period.
Okay,
yep, that's it. That was my learning experience.
Nice.
Vinnie Paul was my learning experience.
All right. So going into all this, what's your history with Pantera? Were you a big fan? Obviously, if you're in Texas, you got to be, right?
Yeah. Well, I grew up in the same area, Arlington, Texas. In Arlington, Pantego, Dalworthington Gardens, they're all right there. I mean, they were all together.
Yeah.
So, somewhere in the shit that I've got in the closet in there, there's probably still flyers from high school that are hand-drawn copies that says Pantera at Joe's Garage.
Nice.
Pantera at Savvy's or the Basement or wherever the fuck they were playing that week with whatever other, local bands. And so it was kind of cool to see them come up from the ground level up.
Yeah.
And, being when I was younger, I had that shitty 80s mustache I think everybody had.
Nice.
That thin, bad porno stash. And but I remember getting into places and seeing them play, and it was just kind of like, oh, they're here again. You kind of get used to it. We're like, oh, they're great.
Oh, right.
Don't get me wrong, but they're here again. You're like, all right, cool. And then I remember some years later, a buddy of mine calls me up. He's like, hey, you want to go see White Zombie at Starplex? I'm like, yeah, sure. I said, who's opening for him? He's like, Pantera. I'm like, really? Like, all right, cool. It's one of those things you got so used to it. I didn't realize how much they had grown in that time. And, but I do remember an ex-girlfriend of mine that I had in high school, her brother gave me the cassette for Power Metal. And I remember listening to that thing till I wore it raw, and it was just badass, and, but everybody around here knew who they were. You go to the store in the middle of the night, you'd run into Dime, you go to see some band play and Vinny and Dime are there,
Right.
So that was kind of my exposure to the Pantera guys growing up. And just, like I say, you see them out and about, and hear their stuff whenever you went to clubs, and it was cool.
So, were you seeing them with Terry in the band also, or were you just a straight Phil guy? Kind of when you got into the band.
Right when I got into it, when I actually got into them, it was Phil. Heard of him, with Terry, but wasn't deep into it more until Phil was in there.
Yeah, they're definitely ingrained in Texas. I actually got to see Pantera in Texas on Ozfest, whatever one of the Ozfests, and it was right around Dime's birthday, because I think Dime's birthday was the next day in Houston, or vice versa. And it was just amazing for me as a young kid to see Pantera in Dallas. You're like, this is awesome. And so they definitely always wore the Dallas and Texas flag on their shoulders.
Oh yeah, always were paid homage to Texas, which is great. I always love that.
So how did you get? Can we talk about what comedian this was, or do we not talk about him?
No, it's fine. It was in this day and age, I don't know, his name might even offend people. It was a dude named Chinaman.
Okay.
So if you're pissed off, sorry,
right.
That's what it was. But yeah, it was a dude that I knew when I was growing up. He lived around the block from me for a time, and so we knew each other kind of from like kid days.
Okay.
And then he went off to college after high school, went off to college and stuff. And I did my own thing. And it was actually the first Hell Yeah CD release party. A buddy of mine had called me up and asked me if me and my girl wanted to go over there to the clubhouse for the CD release party. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. Why not? Let's go check it out and see what happens. But I knew Mark would be Mark Chinaman. That's his real name is Mark. So I went to go see Mark because I hadn't seen him in forever. And I was like, well, this would be a good time to go and hang out with him and see him and, just say hi at least. So I got there, said hi to him, and, they got the music blasting and strippers are going, doing their thing, which is
always great.
bonus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, always great. I'm not offended. And we had a great time. And then I just ended up talking to Mark Chinaman that day, and he asked me, he's like, you still play guitar? I'm like, yeah, I still play. He goes, you want to come out on the road with me and do some song parodies that I do, and you just play them and I'll sing them. I was like, all right, cool. So we started doing that in like the comedy clubs, and then we started adding like lights and sound to the act, and it just got bigger and bigger. And Vince was taking notice of it, and that's when Vince was just like, we actually showed up at his house on a Super Bowl Sunday.
Nice.
And we had gotten cut loose from a gig in Oklahoma because they didn't realize how raunchy the show was. And it was apparently a family-friendly Christmas event or whatever, or, holidays event.
Right.
I should say holidays. It was after that. But, so we go up there, we come back, we come to Vinny's house, all the shit's still in the van, and we pull up, and Vince is like, oh, man, that sucks you got fired. Tell you what, why don't you guys do the show out here by the pool for everybody that's here at the party, for the Super Bowl party? We're like, all right, cool. So we went out there and did it for that, set up everything, all the lights, all the sound effects, all shit that we did. And he loved it. And that's kind of what got him started on the idea of wanting to do this thing in Vegas. And yeah, that was kind of it. We did that out there we did it at 5 months at one location that was a hotel off the strip called the Greek Isles. And then we did another short-term deal at the Hard Rock at a place they used to have called Wasted Space. We did it there for about 3 months, and then that was the end of the show.
So I'm assuming you lived in Vegas that entire time. What was it like to kind of live in Vegas or stay out there so long?
It was cool, man. It was good. It was like I've always told people, they're like, well, how do you like Vegas? I was like, it's great because I'm staying at Vinny's house. I was like, if it was just me on my own working my, day job at Kohl's, it would have sucked because I was just living in an efficiency or whatever. But it was great. Being out there was fun. I mean, I still had my life here in Texas, but being out there and being at Vince's house all that time was amazing.
Well, what were some of those? Obviously, I've seen photos and friends with Chris Kale kind of stuff, and so I've seen many a photo from Vince's house, having chili cook-offs and things like that at the house. So I mean, just kind of give the listeners a little bit of peek into kind of day-to-day life with Vinny.
Oh my God, it depends. Well, depending on the day, you get up and you'd walk around the corner. Vince was always up by 10 a.m. and he'd be there and working on his computer stuff. And I know you can't see my hands. I'm up working on a computer. But it's like he'd be there working on his computer and getting his business and shit taken care of for the day. And he'd finish up around noon or something. And then he would just go out and get some lunch and hang out. Or you'd wake up, come around the corner, and he's like, "You look like you need a shot." I was like, "Man, I ain't even got the sleep out of my eyes yet, man. Fuck." And so we'd be pouring them up and do some shots and hang out. Or if it was, come Sunday, you got football shit going on. So he does Sunday Funday at his house like nobody, and he'd leave. You wouldn't even see him for like a couple hours. Like, what the hell? And he'd pull back up and he would have gone to like Sam's or something and bought like just a couple grand worth of food.
Right.
Just stuff for everybody. And you're like, there's no way this many people are going to fucking show up. And then sure enough, here come all these fucking people just throughout the day, and it fills up, and there's people in the pool, some dressed halfway, some aren't, whatever, they just be having a good time, and Vince is cooking for everybody, and everybody's watching football and having a blast. It was a trip, man. We had like a ritual thing that we would do per days of the week of where we would go, what acts we would see, where we'd end up at the end of the night. And it was always kind of like just a cool thing, man. You go see a comedy act, or you'd go see some big show, down there on the strip, and then end up at the top of some hotel in some bar or something with some other band and watching them play. And, day turned to night, night turned to day. You didn't even know it before you wake up. And it's like 3 weeks later and you're like, fuck, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was a blast.
That's the one thing about Vinny. Throughout the years, you see photos of him at shows, and it never mattered to him, from what I could tell, if it was the biggest, hardest metal band or like, Poison. He was going to be at all the shows. It was no matter what it was. He didn't kind of shy away from his kind of glam past. He went and hung out with LA Guns and Bang Tango.
Oh, yeah. Dude, the greatest thing about Vince is Vince was, and he always told everybody, he goes, it doesn't matter how old I physically am. He goes, up here, I'm still 17 all the time.
Yeah.
And he's always a fan. He was always a fan. And no matter who it was, if it was, like you said, if it's, Megadeth, or if it's the Sin City Sinners,
right,
or if it's some other, whatever group, he's going to go and watch them play because he genuinely loves the music. And we would have a blast just going to see, we show up in some bar somewhere and some little band to be playing. And, he'd be just jamming, just digging on it. And then, of course, one of the band guys would look up, see Vince, and be like, oh, shit. But he made no bones about it. They're, yeah, they come over, like, dude, can we get a picture? He's like, fuck yeah, man. And just congenial as hell. And he loved everything and everybody, man. He's just a good dude.
Let's go back
to that motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. Let's go back a little bit. You said you would see Dime out places. Do you have any Dime stories, running into him places, things like that?
I just remember one night out, it was, what was it? I don't remember the name of the bar over in Dallas, but I remember Sebastian Bach was playing. And me and my buddy are like way off in the back by the bar, just kind of like staring at it. And you just see these Vinny and Dime's head just kind of pop out. And then they go back in and we're like, oh, this is going to be one hell of a night, And then like, Dime may walk out and like hand people shots on stage and shit and then take off. But it was just random timing, I guess, for me more than anything. Like I'd get off work. I was bar backing at this one bar, and which was not too far from where their mom's house was. And I remember get off work one night. I stopped by the store to get something, like a grocery store, and I'm getting something. I'm half dazed, and I see somebody out of my peripheral come in. They go towards the magazine rack, and I see somebody open it up like a whatever it was, not Hit Parade, but some metal magazine or something, Metal Edge or something. And I see it, and I look back at him, and he just kind of like looks up and goes, just got that little head nod thing.
Nice.
So my interactions with Dime were few and far between, but the ones I did have were just kind of cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bumping into him at like a 7-Eleven or something,
Yeah, he had that way of, and Vinny did too, but he had that way of, if you met him for just 5 minutes, you walked away like, man, I've got a new best friend. Dime, they were so magnetic, those two guys.
They were, and they never made you feel like you were an outsider,
Right.
They always made you feel like it was just like, they just wanted to see people smile and have a good time. I love that about them. And I've tried to kind of do that on my own where I can, just kind of, because I appreciated it so much from them to, I've always done my best to be nice to folks, but they just emphasized it so much more that when you see somebody and you're just like, you're just like they are. Let's fucking, let's throw down, have a good time, and it'll be good. It's cool.
How early into Hell Yeah did you join as the drum tech?
I came in during the Stampede days.
Okay.
They were during the time we were on tour in Europe. It was us opening, actually, Stone Sour and Avenged Sevenfold headlining, and so I was out there and doing like band assistant stuff with Brad Ogg, and then doing Chad's direct assistant, and then just doing whatever else I could to help out, along the way. And it was during that time when Kat had left, and we had a couple of fill-in dudes like Mikey B from Lamb of God came out for a while, and then we had another dude named Booma that came out, and he did some stuff for Vince to finish up that part of the tour. And then it was directly after that we came home. We were doing the U.S. side on the Stampede run, and that's when Vince hit me up.
Yeah, Hell Yeah was one of those bands, man. When I heard the lineup of with Tom from Nothing Face, and Chad from Mudvayne, and you got the obviously the drummer from Pantera, like those powers coming together, man. It was going to be an awesome super group.
Oh yeah, and they were fucking awesome. They had such a great time out there. The early days were a little bit more tumultuous. They're trying to find your footing as a even though everybody's seasoned, you're coming on as like a new band, and the stuff that they put out was raw, and they were, like I said, they were trying to look for their footing and find out what they're doing, and it kind of started with them just having a good fucking time.
Yeah,
be it barbecues and drinking and hanging out and all that kind of shit. They just wanted to give that good time back, and that's kind of how it started. Still be raw and heavy, but still just give out that good vibe and let everybody hang out and just have a blast. And then, of course, later on, it became a little bit more refined as they got tuned down, and everybody was like, let's just go, we're trying too hard to do this other thing. Let's just go and do what we do individually, collectively. And that's when it you get stuff like Blood for Blood.
Yeah. The crazy thing I always thought about Hell Yeah was when you would see tours come out, and they would be the opening band, like you said, on a bill of three, but they would be the opening band, and you're like, man, those two headlining bands owe their entire careers to the Pantera, Mudvayne, Nothing Face, like they owe everything to that band, but yet Hell Yeah's out there opening for all these guys.
Oh yeah, and it was kind of crazy, but everybody, there was you heard a lot of those guys that we were out on tour with would come back, and they would thank these guys and tell them, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. And of course, that was kind of the running thing that they would turn around and say the same thing. Well, if it wasn't for you guys doing this tour, we wouldn't be here. So nice. It all comes full circle, And but that was what a lot of what made that, those times fun. That and the fact that Vinny's love for barbecue and getting out there and cooking for everybody on tours, no matter where we were. Between that or taking people to dinner. I mean, he just. It was fun, man. But everybody, all those people were always so thankful to Vince, and thanked them for, Pantera. And, you heard those stories. It's kind of like with the, with the passing of Eddie, it's like all these people saying, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing what we did, because you guys were the first ones that turned us on to play it. So it's cool to hear that, people having that kind of gratitude. Even though they may be in some of the biggest bands that are out there today, just to let them have that humble side to tell Vince, or in this case, Eddie, that they would, or, in that case, all the tributes to Don, giving everything up to these guys as being like the pioneers that got them there. I love that. I think it's beautiful.
The one thing that was always crazy is like all the barbecues and things like that. And obviously most people know that, the opening band on a bill of three is not making a lot of money. So I kind of wonder if Vinny even broke even on tour, or even just came back, owing money as he got home.
Yeah. Vinny didn't care. Vinny just wanted to get everybody out there. Let's all have a good time. Let's make some fucking music and just have a blast. And he always conveyed that, and he pushed that forward, whether he made money off of a tour or didn't make money off of a tour. He's like, fuck it. He's like, let's go out there and just fucking have a good time. He was still the same kid that he was when he started playing for Pantera. Yeah. At the early days, he was still kind of that, had that kind of that lust for it, that lust for life, or that want to get everybody to have a blast.
There's always a story of Phil wanting to come out to a Hell Yeah show and was blocked to not come. Any insight on that?
The only thing I can tell you is that during the Hell Yeah times, no, Vince didn't want to have that interaction.
Okay.
You know, I don't think his mind wasn't ready to address that. You know, he still had a lot of animosity and stuff towards, you know, Phil, and everybody knows how all the other
Right.
things had played out, whether what side was good and what side wasn't. It was always, I know it was tough for them to, especially Vince, to even talk about it, want to deal with it, whether it was Phil or not. You know, it's, you know, and he got addressed with the stuff about Dime and the murder a lot. And you could always see it in his face that he was just like, God damn, all right, here we go again, you know. But he did it with grace and handled it nicely. As far as the Phil thing goes, yeah, we were told at different times, you know, I don't know if he shows up, don't let him come on stage. I was like, okay, well, you know, you're the boss. I gotta, you know, do what you tell me. Now we'll say this: whenever we got to the public ceremony that we had for Vince, the celebration of life, and me and the guys over there at the Bomb Factory were running through all the video footage, and we're like, all right, cool, and we're time coding some stuff just to let it run right. And look, I see the you know, somebody's face would pop up, say their piece about Vince, and it's rolling, doing some music, goes to the next one, and I see Phil pop up. And they're like, two guys doing it. They're like, what do we do? And I'm like, let me hear it. Just run it.
Yeah.
And they ran it. And he was sweet. It was short. It was to the point, but it was heartfelt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I was like, you got to let it run, man. I said, it's done. It's squash it, let it ride. You know, so it was nice to hear what he had to say. I know it's still hard for a lot of people to take sides. You know, a lot of people want to take sides and shit. I don't.
No.
I don't take sides in that shit. What's done is done. And we can't bring anybody back. You know, and I'm sorry that it all happened. What caused Gail to flip his shit and do what he did? Don't know. Don't care. He got his. Sorry that we lost the people that we lost.
Yeah.
You know, uncalled for. Fucking uncalled for. But as far as the Phil thing goes, it's like there's no hate left, because why?
Right.
You know,
when that played at the funeral and Phil pops up, you know, with everyone in the room, I mean, was it kind of a gasp at that time too?
Ironically, no. It was weird. It was kind of like, it was almost like it seemed like from the crowd reaction that it was like a putting it to bed kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Their reaction to it was better than I thought it was going to be, and I'm glad it was. But you know, you've got people that have worked for those guys, the Pantera crew, you know, that was there. You know, everybody was there, and you hear this stuff, and you know, they knew them way back when.
Yeah.
Everybody was good, and everybody was fine, and everybody was doing their thing. So, you know, I can't imagine what those guys felt, but. Just coming from, you know, my side of things, it was cathartic to hear him say what he had to say.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm glad that at least for that time period, was just, like I said, put to bed.
Now, another guest that I'll have had on this by the time your episode comes out is Mark Eglinton, the co-author of Rex's book. And obviously, right. I read Rex's book, very disparaging towards Vinny throughout the whole thing, almost borderline over the top so many times. And I know Vinny had a lot of negative things to say about that. You know, were you, and I'm assuming you were around for when this book was released and kind of the backlash for all that too.
Yeah. I was with Vince. We were actually in Vegas when that had come up in conversation. And this is all I got out of it.
Just shaking his head.
He just was like, yeah, he was like, whatever, man. And he just shrugged it off, like, whatever, man.
Yeah, it's a tough read, man. I even like, as I was reading it, I looked at my wife and I was like, how does anyone say this about anyone, especially someone that's, you know, basically they've gone to the top of the mountain with. It was pretty crazy to see how negative he was towards Vince.
Yeah, I didn't read it. To tell you the truth, I don't care to.
Yeah.
I don't wish anything bad on Rex. I mean, good on you, man. Go on with life and do your thing. Wish him all the best. But I don't have any, you know, I really don't have a standpoint one way or the other. All I know is that at that stage of the game, if it had offended Vince, I was just like, I don't know a better way to put it. I'm Team Vince,
Right.
you know, but I wasn't around for all that shit.
Yeah.
You know, I can't give validity to it, whether or not shit's true or it's just bullshit. It's sensationalism. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Don't care. Truthfully, don't care. Because that's between those two guys, and that's not ever going to be settled. So,
yeah, it was one of those things where obviously when I was going to have Mark on, he's like, you have to read the book first. And I was like, I had the book. I just, read a little bit of it and put it down. But I finally read through it real quick, and I was like, oh my God. And then, at the time, even up until Vince's passing, there was still hope of at least, those three getting on stage together and playing. And then after reading that, I was like, there's no way that Vinny would ever walk on stage with Rex again.
No, he would. No, I mean, and for Vince, the whole thing was as people kept talking Pantera reunion. He goes, dude, bottom line is this, fuckers. He's like, without my brother there is no Pantera reunion. That's it. It's done. It's over.
Yeah.
And I know that they've had offers of various calibers money wise to go and join up and maybe have Zach play.
Yeah.
But he was just like, no, with that dime, no.
Right.
So,
one of the last times I saw Vince was here. I'm right outside Louisville. I hung out with Chris Cale that night. We go down to the Hell Yeah show. We hang out afterwards, and it was soon after the Columbus show. And Vince was kind of holding court, talking about how, that was the first time he'd played Columbus since Dime's murder.
Right.
And, how the whole day and just going on and on about how, honestly, it really wasn't as a big deal as he thought it was going to be. What made it so bad was everybody all day long was asking him, are you okay? Are you sure you're fine? Are you good? That was kind of his takeaway from that day. What do you remember from that day in Columbus?
I remember we went into it, and I remember when he agreed to do it, we were all just kind of like, really? This is happening? All right, well, fuck it. But everybody was on, the way we approach things with stage security. I mean, we have our, every band goes out and has their security guy talk to, house security and what that means. But as far as our stage security goes, every tech that I work with, security is part of your gig. So we were on high alert the whole fucking day from the time that he looked out the window in the morning till he stepped off the bus, till he made it to the stage, all that shit. And I even had what the house guy was like, hey man, here's this photographer that management says he's going to shoot behind Vince. I said, the fuck he is. Nobody's shooting behind this. That's a period.
Right.
Nobody's taking any pictures back here. We had one guy that was allowed to, and he had clearance, and he came up, and that was fine. But nobody else was up there. We kept everybody else off to the sides of the stage. Everything was pretty tight for that day. And then we were all nervous because we just didn't want, something odd happening, a balloon popping and Vince freaking out or something, because you didn't know. I mean, and chances are we were way more vigilant than we should have been, but it was for good reason, and he just kind of took it in stride and played through it and had a great time. And it was cathartic for him because he got to get up and, to see him stand up above his kit and address the crowd, that was badass.
Oh, I bet. I mean, yeah, because there were definitely stories of, if they were on tour with the band and there was an Ohio date, I don't even think it mattered what city in Ohio. If there was an Ohio date, he wouldn't play it. And as much, all the way up to that he would drive around Ohio just to get to the next town, like.
It wasn't quite that bad, but we did stay out of Columbus for a long time. And, for that reason. But we didn't skirt Ohio per se. We were just we just didn't go there. And he finally just agreed to it. And it was like he was just ready to be, try to put something behind him, at least a little bit, not dime, because he'd never let that go, which for good reason. But he just didn't want to do it. And one day he did. And we're like, fuck it. All right, let's go do this. After that, everything was cool. As far as going to Columbus and whatnot. Now, granted, we didn't go small town Columbus. We were at the stadium over there, so everything was cool, But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, man, what's crazy about the Alarosa is I had actually played there maybe 6 months earlier, Like I was on tour going through, and it was just like, I was like, man, you know, it seems, I was like, if you wanted to break into this place, you would just jump this fence over here. And,
Right.
you know, and then I start reading kind of how everything went down that night in Columbus. And it was like, he kind of jumped the fence, and I was like, oh my God, like it was just sad. I mean, where were you that night? You know, how did you find out about Dime?
I was at work. I was working, believe me, leads into me being a drum tech. Yeah, I was in automotive finance. So I'm working at this office, and I remember like I was driving home or something. I don't remember exactly how it all came about or what happened or how the news got to me. I think it got to me at work that day, that morning, because I got there early. I worked my ass off. But throughout the day, I'm hearing stuff, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. No. This can't be right. And I remember coming home. I walked to my bedroom and turned the TV on, and I saw the news report come up, and I was just like somebody hit me with the Hulk-sized fist square in the chest, and all the air went out of me. I was just like, oh God, no. And you just sit there, tears rolling down your face. Like I said, even though I wasn't close to them back then, that's still your hometown boys. You know, you're close by. It's like being close by association, you know, and knowing other people that did know them or know of them close, you know, that kind of thing. And you're just like, man, your heart immediately just goes out of your chest, and that sucks. And it just didn't make any sense. None of it made sense. Yeah. You know, still doesn't fucking make sense, but you know, here we are, and things were what they were. I know Vince was never the same again. And, by the time I came working with him, and, you just saw it every day, you know, in his eyes. And he was just, it affected everything he did. You know, now don't get me wrong. It wasn't always like constant depression and shit. He'd be in a good mood and shit. He'd be telling us, oh man, Dom would love this shit. This would be, you know, he'd be telling, you know, whatever the story was, be it gambling or whatever, something would remind him of something that Dime said, and he would throw it out there, and it was great. But yeah, it was tough to hear that, you know, and, I can't imagine for the people I know that were with them that night. My heart always goes to them. You know, always goes out to them, the band members, their crew that they had out with them. You know, it's like the people that were there in the club, the other people that were killed. I just, you know, even the guy that owns the fucking bar, it's like, dude, I can't imagine how that is. I mean, I've been around like death a lot. Yeah. But from family members to friends to this and that, but I can't imagine that scenario, you know? So, and you think about shit like that, and then like the Bataclan that happened over there, it's like, woof, fuck, man.
Yeah, it's got to be tough. And what's crazy about the Alarosa, I think it stayed open until like just a couple of years ago, which is, you know, obviously you being kind of in the bar business, that somewhat, you know, something that tragic happens. A lot of times that place shuts down, opens back up under a new name. Maybe it's the same management, same owner, but I mean, you at least change the name of the place, you know, and try to. You know, wash some of that away, but no, man, they just kept going, and it's like, and it was a constant reminder. Anytime you saw tour dates, it's like, oh yeah, Columbus, Ohio, the Alarosa, and you're like, oh, well, that, you know, that's where Dime was murdered. You know, it was never, it never went away. You know.
Oh yeah, I agree, and it never will, as long as that building's standing. Yeah, you know, I'm sure the owner, being a bar owner, he had to do what he had to do to stay open. You know, make his money and stuff like that. I get that. But yeah, it's got to be difficult on anybody just going in there and playing, you know, or seeing, you know, the spot in the floor or wherever where Dime was. And it's just like, you know, and then every night that I got behind Vince's kit, and I thought about, it did cross my mind every fucking time that I thought about how close Dime was to him when all that shit happened. And it blows my mind. 'Cause I can't imagine, like I say, I play guitar. I'm damn sure ain't Dime. Not even close.
Yeah, not many are.
But my brother's a drummer, and I can't imagine being that close to my brother and something happens to him. Yeah. You know, that'd be it for me. So how Vince managed to carry on after that's just amazing to me. But that was his therapy too. So
yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you know, obviously he kind of stayed in the industry of what, you know, where he was when Dime was murdered. So you've got to see him out every night of a Hell Yeah tour with kids coming up to him and being like, oh man, Dimebag, like he constantly had to hear Dimebag stories. Constantly had, you know, it was a constant reminder. So, I mean, it had to be just probably one of the hardest things ever, you know, to continue on and hear stories daily about your brother, you know, to where, you know, I don't even know. And from what a lot of people say is maybe he didn't, you know, deal with those emotions and, you know, wash all that away and kind of focus on that part of his life. So getting it brought up to him every day probably had to be super tough on him.
Oh yeah. And you get it from all angles, be it foreign press or whatever. And he had to go through interviews and you knew the question was coming up because it always did.
Yeah.
Something about Dime. And he handled, you know, most all the time he handled everything with grace and composure and handled it very well. You know, everybody has a bad day.
Yeah.
Everybody. I don't give a fuck with the biggest star on the planet. They're going to have a bad day. And you might be that one guy that catches them on that bad day. So that's going to be the story that gets the sensational headline. Oh, so-and-so's an asshole. It's like, no, dick. They've had to field these questions over and over again for 8 months. Yeah. And you're the last guy that hit them on a bad day. So, but the worst thing I ever, you know, somebody brought something up in the way they worded it. And I realize that fans get excited and that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And some people aren't exactly wordsmiths when it comes to the way that they word things and speak. But, I just remember somebody worded something that was slightly off color as to the way they put it. And Vince was just like, no, I'm good. I'm not trying to hear that right now. Right. And he but that was it. It wasn't a big blow up. It wasn't screaming, not a fuck you, none of that shit. He was just like, I'm not trying to hear that. And that was it. So he handled all that stuff really with like I said, grace and composure.
You know, kind of obviously we got to get into a little bit of this, but I mean, you know, what were some of the last, you know, moments you had with Vince, and was there any kind of, you know, you knew anything was coming, or was it just a complete shock when you found out he passed?
It was a complete shock. Yeah, complete shock. Vince was always good about, you know, going to the doctor, and if something was weird, he'd go get checked out or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really didn't see it coming. The last interactions that we had, you know, were phone conversations and text messages of just going, talking about, well, hey man, what's going on? How's the album coming? You know, did you guys get contracts figured out? Whatever the hell is going on to get us out on tour. He's like, yeah, we're just, he goes, man, I've been home too damn long. I'm ready to go out on tour. I'm ready to play. Let's fucking go. And he goes, I said, well, how's the record coming along? He's like, all my parts are done. Everything's good. The guys are putting stuff together. Chad's going to put his stamp on it. We're good to go. I'm like, cool. And we just had like the same conversations we normally do, you know, day in, day out, and everything was fine. And I had gone out to San Diego. My son's in the Navy, so I was helping his family move into their new place and everything. And the last night I was scheduled to come home because I was playing a little local gig here the next day. And I got a call. It was like later in the evening. Me and my son were out in his backyard grilling up some stuff. And I remember I got a call from Kyle Sanders. And Kyle lives in Georgia. So for me, it being in San Diego, it was fairly late for Kyle to be calling.
Yeah.
And I answered the phone. Ooh, let's see if I can do this without breaking.
You're good.
Yeah. I got a, you know, Kyle's on the phone and Kyle's in tears, which you don't hear.
Right.
I mean, Kyle does, you know, he's a private guy. He keeps that shit to himself. But I was like, what's going on? This is where it gets hard. He goes, have you talked to anybody? I was like, no. I go, what's up? He said, Vinny's gone. I was like, excuse me? you know, and I was like, what'd you just say? Vinny's gone. Where the fuck did he go?
Yeah.
You know? And he goes, no, Vinny's dead. And I was like, you got to say that again. And he goes, Vinny's dead. All I remember feeling my legs buckle.
Yeah.
But I remember hitting the ground.
You're good.
1 second. Anyways. So yeah, okay, got it. So he tells me, my son looks at me, he's like, what's wrong? And I said, he just told me Vinny's dead. And my son's like, what? I'm like, yeah. And I look up and my daughter-in-law comes out of the house with a double shot of Jack. She didn't even know what was going on. She goes, drink this right now. And I was like, yeah, boom, hit it. She goes back in, comes out with another one. Drink this one. It's like, boom, hit it again. And I was like, you know, just talked to Kyle briefly. Then after, I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
And he was like, he had a heart attack or something. I don't know, man. We're trying to figure this whole fucking thing out. What's, you know, I was like, you got to be shitting me. And I remember, you know, that night just being, I was just in space, gone, you know. And God damn, still getting me.
Hey, you're getting me too, man.
Yeah. So I was trying to reach people and talk to people and see what I could find out and everything. And I remember coming back to the airport the next day because I still had to come back. And I didn't even really realize my connecting flight was to Vegas where he was.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck. And I was like wrestling with myself. Do I leave? Do I go to the house? Do I try to see what's going on? And I'm like, I got to go home. I got to play this gig. And that's all I could think about. I was like, I have to go fucking play this gig. I can't, you know.
Right.
And my buddy that's doing the gig calls me and he's like, dude, are you sure you can do this? Because he'd heard by then.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I have to. He goes, what do you mean you fucking have to? He goes, dude, I'll do it by myself. He goes, no, man. He goes, you just stay where you're at. And I'm like, no, I'm coming to do this gig. So I got home and got in a car and I left something out of the story. When I got to the San Diego airport that morning, I'm just kind of zombified and I didn't even look at my shit. People are pointing to me. I'm just showing them my tickets and they're pointing me to the gate. And I get down there and I'm sitting there and I look up and I see this 3 on the gate. And I'm like, don't do this. And I looked up at another sign and another one over here, all of them 3s. I was like, you funny motherfucker. So, but I got home and went out to Abilene, Texas.
Yeah.
And it was just like a 3-hour car drive. A buddy of mine picked me up, drove me out there. And we did the gig that night. And my buddy goes into Playing Comfortably Numb. And I was like, okay, this is where it's going to get weird. And we stopped. And we always had this one song called Good Day for the Blues. And that's always something that meant a lot to me and my buddies. So when he goes, this one goes out to Vince. And it was just, I could barely play. I was just like, it's just tears and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But the crowd was cool and they were very supportive. And he kind of let it out of the bag as to who I was to Vince. And people were just like, people I didn't even know, man, hugs and shit. And it was weird, but it was cathartic for me to have that and to play that because, you know, he told me, he goes, another little story is that while I was on tour with HELLYEAH a few years back, my dad passed away. So I still did the show that night. And Vinny's like, are you sure you can do this? I was like, yeah, I can do this. He goes, well, this one's going to go out to your dad tonight. He's got the best seat in the house right next to Dime watching this show. So did that one. And so when it came to me doing that gig the day after Vince died, I did the gig because all I could hear was Vinny and my dad going, if you don't play this gig, I'm going to kick your ass.
Right.
So I was like, done. So I went and did it. And I'm glad I did it because it probably helped me more than, you know, I could have ever thought it would. It was just, it's still, you know, I have days where it's just, you know, it's hard to do because it just kicks up on you. You know, you're good. It's 2 years ago and you kind of move on and try to do your thing, not move on. You never get over it. You just get through it.
Yeah.
Now here's a little weird story for you.
All right.
Okay. Over my shoulder on that wall back there's a picture of Vince.
Okay.
That a fan had drawn. Okay. Now, that being said, when I got the picture, I'd hung up and it was, you know, on the wall sitting there. And I remember talking on the phone to my buddy, the same guy I did the gig with, as a matter of fact, this dude, Kerry Freeman. And I look up there on the wall and the fucking picture's crooked. So it's like, and that's weird. And I goes, as we're talking, I kind of reach over to go adjust it. And I got about a foot from it. And that fucking picture was like this. It goes, I was just like, you fucker, man, stop that shit.
Wow.
You know? And weird shit happens like that. You know, those boys leave little clues and shit for us in various ways. And it's cool. You know, it's like almost like a running, like not a joke. It's a comfort thing, but at the same time, it's like, quit fucking with me. It's a trip.
you and I have been Facebook friends for a very long time. And a couple of things that you posted around that time is you posted a photo of his drum kit. You know, did you have to go in and tear it down one last time kind of thing? Was that what that was from?
No, that was I remember the picture that you're talking about. It's got the lights and stuff behind it. That was a picture I had taken that we, when the boys were in the studio with Kevin Churko over at the Hideout. And it just seemed apropos. It was, you know, just his kit sitting there by itself.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of how I viewed it. Now, granted, I did, you know, go back to the house. I've packaged up drum kits and I've packaged up, you know, some other stuff of his that, you know, made sure it went to its appropriate locations or whatever. But it was just, and it's always been weird. You know, I keep a pair of his drumsticks with me. No matter what band I'm working for, they always stay with me. It's just kind of like a good luck charm type of thing. And there's been several times where I've had to deal with some of his things, and it's difficult every time, but it's almost like you feel that pat on the back, like it's cool, man. Everything's all right, you know. So, I mean, he had to calm me down on a few occasions myself. So, he was always good about that shit. So, yeah, I didn't have to break that. I did break that one down, but that was a picture I'd actually taken while he was still around.
Oh, okay.
And, but yeah, that one, I put that kid away myself. So, but that was not, he was here at the time. So it just kind of came back around that it showed up in my photos. And I was like, that's the shot I have to go with, you know?
And then the Hell Yeah tour that they just, the latest Hell Yeah tour that they did with, Roy Mayorga. Did you go out and do that too? Or did Roy use his own guy?
No, the only show that they did without me with that, there was two shows. They did the Vegas show, the first one out of the gate, when they kind of decided to go ahead and go forth, and they're going to use that one as like the template to see whether or not they could go ahead and keep touring or not.
Yeah.
And then the only other ones the other thing that I didn't do was Shipwrecked.
Okay.
The two subsequent tours that followed, I went ahead and did those with Roy. And Roy is just, he's a beast, man. And he's a badass. And the amount of respect that he gave Vince and learning everything that Vince did. I mean, there were parts that Vince did that were backwards to a lot of the way some drummers play. So Roy even went out of his own comfort zone and learned to play them the way Vince played them versus how he would normally try to go at it. Because he's like, there's no other way you can do this. You have to do it this way to get the right, everything from the syncopations to just fills to everything. And he knocked it out of the ballpark. He killed it. He just loved it, the way he played it. You know, and it was a brotherhood too, because Vinny loved Roy loved Vinny, and they would, you know, they were like a brotherhood. And anytime we saw each other, it was always a great time, you know?
Awesome.
And so having him out there was fantastic.
As we're kind of winding down here, man, what's this coffee? What do we got going on?
Oh, yeah. I got approached by the people at Rot. We were going to do they were looking to do some bands and stuff and see about other bands wanting to do stuff and putting their name on a label and getting some coffee out there. And I'm like, cool. Well, at first the guys didn't bite at it, and we're kind of, I guess people, you know, we're busy, we're touring. They're kind of, maybe there's skepticism or whatever. But they're like, if you know anybody else that wants to do this, let us know. I was like, yeah, I know somebody. And they're like, who? Me. And they're like, okay, we're curious. Let's see what you got. And they're like, what do you want to call it? I was like, well, there's got to be something in my, you know, it's almost like a silent tribute to everything that is rock and roll. Mm-hmm. And it's got to be for the fucking road dogs. It's got to go out there for the guys that are out there and girls that are busting their ass every fucking day to make these shows happen, you know, for everybody. From the people out there, you know, working the arenas and cleaning up after people, to everybody that's busting their ass to make these shows happen. So it's got to be a road dog blend. They're like, well, what do you want to call it? I went, let's see, everything that embodies rock and roll, Peking's 333rd Road Dog Blend.
Nice.
So it's, I mean, because that nothing says that more to me than the spirit of, you know, the 333, the what it meant to It's a tribute to the boys, the Abbott boys. It's a tribute to just the rock and roll spirit in general. It's a spirit to everything that embodies what we all got to love rock and roll for. You know, that's not endorsed by them. They have the estates have zero to do with it, but it's just kind of my own concept as to what everything means in the spirit of rock and roll and how it deserves to be remembered. And it still have to have that fucking punch to it. So it's a dark roast, but it's not bitter. It's one of the few dark roasts that's out there that you can find that has no bitter, like the shitty bitter aftertaste.
Yeah.
It's very smooth. And it's just fucking delicious. So, I mean, I can't
That's
give
the
you
tagline. It's just fucking delicious.
It's just fucking delicious. I should have went with that one. It's just fucking delicious. But yeah, I've got that one. It's as a matter of fact, I have a bag. There it is. But yeah, that's the one, and sold through the Rocked brand, which is ROCKD. You can find it at rockedbeverage.com. It's you can get it in bean form or in ground. When we do the 12-ounce bag and we do the 5-pound bag, it's really, really good shit. But it is in the spirit of rock and roll, for the road dogs, by the road dogs. You know, it's good shit, man. And it's I'm really, really pleased with the way it came out. I'm really, dude, it's my go-to. It's what I drink. And I've tried various other people's coffees and whatnot. And I'm not saying it to toot my own horn, so to speak, but it's fucking good.
How have you been holding up through the pandemic? Obviously, with no touring. I know that the one thing with the crew guys, I mean, you guys don't get residuals and royalties and all that stuff. I mean, it's like you get paid by the gig or by the week, and when there's no tour, there's no money. So I mean,
there's no nothing.
They're the road dogs. As the coffee says, they're the road crew. Kind of are the ones left out in all this, and I know a lot of people are struggling out there. So how are you holding up?
As for me, I'm doing good. I actually managed to I'm not a big spender. I don't buy a lot of shit. I barely buy anything for myself. So I managed to put away enough cash to carry me through until hopefully everything ends up going well next year. Hopefully. If not, I'll be down there going, "Hi, welcome to Walmart." So, but that's the thing. I'll do whatever it takes to do what I have to do to pay for my shit until I can get back out on the road. There's a lot of people out there that aren't doing as well. Yeah. And I feel for them. I feel, hell, dude, I even feel for myself in some occasions because I'm like, damn, I want to be working. Yeah. I would rather be working out on the road and giving shows to people than anything. But unfortunately, that's not the case. We got to hunker down and do what we have to do right now. We may have to find jobs doing shit we've never done before, but we will get it done and we'll do what we got to do to get through that. Hopefully, there's a lot of good people out there who have been doing this for a very long time. I hope they make it back out to doing it again. If they don't and they have to do something different, then that's cool too. It's tough on everybody in different ways. Just I know that the entertainment industry as a whole has been, bitch slapped by this whole COVID thing. And regardless of what side of the fence you stand on those issues, we just all want to fucking get back to work. And I know I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to get back out at it. I've done some live streams with Lamb of God. Mm-hmm. I've got some good brothers and sisters out there with the Black Label Camp. Everybody's there. There's, 10 years guys have been great to me. The Baby Metal folks have been great to me. Everybody's been really cool. But we all got to, hopefully we can all get back out there and start doing these shows for people again soon and, bring some smiles to faces and, some rock to the masses, as it were.
And we'll just kind of wrap it up on, just kind of, throw out one good Vinnie story that, always puts a smile on your face. And if you need a second, go ahead and take it.
Oh, man. Oh, there's so many. Everything from, there was little ones like we were playing someplace in Milan and him and the guys took off and Vince comes back and he's kind of half buzzed. He's like, "Man, I just went to the Vatican." I'm like, "You're in the wrong city, man." But he's like, yeah, he goes, apparently some dude left his keys in his moped, so I fucking took it. He just took off on some dude's moped right around. Now, the one that I tell the most, because it's the one of the funnier ones to me, is the one I've told to people about Vinny, this kid waiting outside in Belgium for Vinny to come out and, just say hi. This kid he waited all night long. It's like 3 a.m. Club's been closed for hours. He's still out there and he's waiting. So Vinny comes back out and he's like, he's telling, oh, Vinnie Paul, and the kid's in tears, man. He said, oh, Vinny, I love you, man. He goes, just sign this for me. He's like, sure. He goes, would you sign my car? And he's like, what? He goes, would you sign my car? He goes, well, where is it? He goes, it's around the corner. He goes, go fucking get it. So this kid comes around the corner in this late 1960s piece of badass American muscle. And we're in Belgium. And he's like, what the fuck? He goes, this is your car? And the kid's like, yeah. So Vince signs the hood real big. So it says, eat more pussy, giant letters on this guy's, Vinnie Paul.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, throw me the keys, fucker. And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, man, throw me the keys. So the kid throws Vinny the keys. He tells the kid to get in. Then Vinny tells his security guy to get in the car. This guy, Gus, he goes, get in the car, man. And Gus is like looking at our tour manager who's going, do not let him drive that car. And we're like, fuck, what do we do? So Vince is still laughing the whole time. He gets in the car. Gus gets in the car. The kid's in there. He squeals the tires, hauls ass down the street. Just a straight shot street. And he's like, fuck. And then like everybody's kind of like freaking out, like, what the fuck? And he's hauling it. All you hear is like, wah, 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 just shifting gears.
Yeah.
So he gets out down the street to almost where the sound is just about gone and the lights are completely gone. You don't see shit. And all you hear way off in the distance is like, the squealing tires. And we're like, oh, fuck, what's that happened? And about that time, just in that distance, you hear the engine sound just, and it's getting louder and louder. And then you see the lights come up and like, okay, cool. They're still alive. Great. And he's hauling ass and he's not slowing down for shit. So he comes up over the hill, fucking gets right by, passes the bus. He gets right in front of the club and just fucking slams on the brakes and the car spins a little bit. And he hops out and the kid's like, oh my, and kid's freaking the fuck out. He's like, there you go, motherfucker. And as he's walking back to the bus, he throws the kid the keys. He goes, I bet you got your pull on that, didn't you, motherfucker? See you next time. And we left. That was it.
Wow.
He got on the bus and we left.
That's a great way to end this, man. Patrick King, man, thanks so much for taking the time tonight and telling stories, man. And as I ask everybody, what's your go-to Pantera song?
My go-to Pantera song. Ooh. Well, I have to go back to, if I wanted to go power metal, I could say, any of the first 2 tracks are great. But I think my homegrown go-to to this day is still Cowboys from Hell. Just because of that fucking intro.
Oh, yeah.
I just love it. I mean, all of them are great. I love all the songs. But anytime I hear that, I just get pumped up. I get jazzed. I want to fucking, I want to throw down. I want to fucking punch holes in the wall. I want to do all kinds of crazy shit. But it just pumps me up. I love that shit.
Yeah, nothing better than seeing them live and, the crowd, the stage goes dark, that little and then we're taking over this town, and it's just, it was magical every time I saw it, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man.
All right, huge thank you to Patrick King for coming on. Like I said, it gets rough there towards the end. You're going to have to take this with kid gloves going forward and try to celebrate the catalog of Pantera, the shows of Pantera, and everything about Pantera. And there's a lot of tragedy in this band, so I guess it's inevitable to have to talk about, and we will talk about it. But man, after doing this interview, it took me a little bit of time to calm down. My emotions were running high on this one. And it just kind of goes to show that, you're getting into a Pantera podcast, but you have to deal with so much tragedy and in the inner workings of the band and the crew. So make sure to reach out to Patrick King. Let him know that you enjoyed this episode of the Drag the Waters, the Pantera podcast. And make sure to check out his coffee, P. King's 333 Road Dog Blend over at rockedbeverage.com. So until next time, I've been Joshua Toomey. This has been Drag the Waters. Thank you for checking it out.